Hello everyone, I'm going to try to do this in one take. I'm going to show you how this thing works. Um, been struggling with the title of it for a while. Uh, Magnetic mouse pad, vertical mouse alternative. Now I call it a clamp-on mouse pad with a magnetic mouse. The point is the same. It clamps to your desk and you can flip it in any angle that you want. Or of course, to benefit the posture that you prefer. So basically, it's a super lightweight mouse, 52 grams. It magnetically attaches to the pad. A lot of users ask me, can I use a different mouse? Yeah, you can. Um, Here's a mouse without magnets. It'll just fall off the pad. We're working on a wireless version that has magnets in it, sticks to the pad. You can do this yourself. Pulsar is a company that makes really lightweight mice. You could attach your own magnets inside the casing and it'll do the same thing. If you want to spend the time doing that, you can do that. We're going to start selling this thing separately, save you some time trying to make your own. I mean, it's not that hard to make, but if you're not a metal worker and you don't have access to these parts, yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. So we're going to eventually sell the pad separately so some people can make their own magnet mice. Because I know a lot of you have preferences to use the mouse you already have, right? You just put some magnets in it. As long as the mouse is less than 70 grams, ideally less than 50 grams would be even better. This mouse is about 50 grams, maybe 49, 48 grams. So yeah, we're working on getting some of those made, uh, depending on how many of you folks comment and like the product and want us to just get mice with magnets already in it for you so you don't have to pop it open and stick them inside your mouse. You also have to kind of choose the right magnets because some are either too strong or too weak or too heavy, so you got to pick the right ones. So right now we sell it with just this wired version. I like wired. You don't have to charge it. I mean, when you think about it, you use a wireless mouse, you still have to charge it. You're still going to connect a wire to it at some point, right? So I have my wire right here anyway. So my desk always has a wire regardless. It's just either it's attached or not, right? So I'm a real practical, try to be logical kind of guy. I'm open to suggestions on how to improve all this. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't really want to be a YouTuber. I have other things that I kind of prioritize. And for all you content creators, I respect you because setting up the camera, the lighting and everything, it's tricky. Anyway, I ramble a lot. you know um Here we go, back to the topic. Here we go. Let's see, what are we saying? Yeah, so when we have to connect the wire anyway, it's like, well, I might as well get a less expensive mouse. It's lighter because there's no battery. um this is actually a very light mouse, so we're trying to find some like Pulsar style brand mice that are super light, you put magnets in. Okay, so this one's the one we already sell. It's 52 grams and yeah, 52 grams, and it's wired. It seems to work well. It doesn't disconnect. Sometimes some wireless mice, if you don't have the right, you know, specs and system inside, there's can be some lag or whatever. So we started with the less expensive wired version that it's just more reliable. Okay, so what can we discuss today? Let's take a look at all this. It's a obviously it's made of metal. Um, and otherwise it wouldn't be magnetic. Um, Again, we went over you can put magnets in a mouse you already have if it's less than 70 grams. The lighter the better. I know some mice are like, I don't know, 30 some grams. If you can find mice like that and you're willing to pop the case open and put magnets on it, then, and it's wireless, hey, you can use that, right? You're going to have to tune the feet and you're going to have to adjust the magnetism if you're a DIY kind of guy. that's kind of how this thing was made. It was really a DIY project, and then decided, hey, I think other people can use this. It's really convenient, and it's cheaper when everyone buys a whole bunch of them, right? So I order like 1,000 of them at a time, a few hundred of them at a time right now, and it saves everybody some money. Um, sell them on Amazon as the whole system right now. But eventually, again, like I said, I'll put this available separately, just the pad platform itself. Um, you can hook it up in different ways. This clamp, it's the best clamp that I found, the most versatile space-saving clamp. A lot of the clamps you see on those clamp-on mouse pads are kind of big and they take up some more space on the desk. So this one takes up less space, I think. It's the smallest clamp I could find where without having to like redesign an even smaller clamp. This thing just works. Um, this knob friction tightens and then it basically locks whatever position you want for the pad. Let's see. Some other users were saying that my mouse starts slipping at the 90-degree angle, like this. Okay, this mouse doesn't slip at this point. In the beginning, maybe for a while, it slides at this angle because the gravity causes it pushes it down. But after a while, the friction on these feet sort of increase after usage. I think it kind of sands it down or it kind of wears it down and it causes a little more friction. I don't know if it's the pad, but we've experimented with it and it sticks after a while. But if you don't want to wait, you can remove these mouse feet and then just replace them with um, third-party feet, the smaller circular ones. And those work too. You can experiment with no feet at all. You'll get a really strong, very firm grip on the pad and it won't slide at 90 degrees. This is the only angle where the mouse might slide a little. Again, this one doesn't slide at this point. I guess the friction just kind of got stronger and caught up with you know, so no, it doesn't slide. So yeah, you can take off the feet and it'll lock at 90 degrees, which is this angle here, 90. When we talk about, going past 90 degrees, you can do that too. You can flip it completely over. Some people have pronated their wrist so long that they kind of like their wrist is permanently like in this situation and they walk around like that. Um, I was one of those people, and that's why I use this. That's why I kind of made this thing. Um, and so yeah, you might be one of those people too who have this pronated wrist that's always like this. You're always, and it just kind of you start to become this shape, and the muscle just kind of forms and kind of hurts. This has helped me. It may help you too. So what else can we cover? Um, you know, I've made videos where I think I just kind of didn't talk, but went over this vertical mouse situation. A vertical mouse does sort of get your wrist less pronated, but I found that it was so the difference was like from this to this. Wait, no, it was this on a normal mouse. Let's see what it normally looks like. So people always exaggerate this mouse. We make these mouse pads too. I mean these keyboards. They're really like anyway, won't get into that this time. But let's get back to the mouse position of the wrist. Uh, I would mouse around like this all the time, and that's what caused me a lot of the pain. Let's see. Now, I mean, a vertical mouse, you could actually mouse in almost the same position, which I find sometimes vertical mice don't help enough. Let's see. Yeah, so my wrist went from there to like there. So there is some change, but I really want to be like that sometimes, or I even want to be like this sometimes, to be frank. just to kind of give me that freedom, you know, to be able to have my hand not locked this way the entire day when I'm working at the computer. For those of you who like do CAD work, which I do CAD work, um, photo editing work, video editing work, where you're just like all day like this. Like you got to hear me, like you know what I'm talking about. When you're stagnant in that position all day, pronated this way, it takes a toll on your body. You know, we're made to move and change positions, and we shouldn't be in one position too long. So even with a vertical mouse, like, okay, you go from this locked position to this locked position, it's better, but then you should alternate back to a regular mouse, maybe, you know. But with this, you can take it off the pad, you can use it as a regular mouse. It's only 52 grams, so it's super light. You could game with it, you know, if I don't know if you can game with it on this, right? I mean, depends what game you're playing. But this is more for office productivity, you know, photo video editing. Like I said, it's not really for gaming. There's more friction you're going to feel here because of the magnetic attraction, right? Um, you know, some users, let's see, what else can we talk about? Some users uh, say that the arms are too short, right? Short arms are too short. They wish they were longer. Well, with longer arms, I think one of the views I got were recently is they wanted the arms like an inch longer. But the longer the arms get, the more unstable the mouse pad becomes. So this was like the shortest, you know, but without it being too short. We thought so. From the testing, it seems you can get this thing into any position that you want with the arm length that it's at. If it's longer, it's just gonna shake around. Like, look, if I extend this thing out, right, this is a tightened down grip on the desk, wooden desk surface. You hit it, it's pretty stable right now, and you're only doing movements side to side, right? But if you start hitting on it, it's gonna wobble. The longer the arms are, it's gonna wobble. It's not worth it. Longer arms, bigger, takes up more space on your desk. It's just not necessary. You really just need to change the angle, right? That's it. You can even get it over the top of your desk if you really want to a little bit, right? Like this. So it's kind of overlapping over the top of your desk. And if you're going to do that, you're probably going to want to flip this clip uh, clamp if you want it on top of your desk, because then your arm shoulder is even closer to the, when I mean shoulder, I'm talking about this arm shoulder is higher. So you're going to get this thing a little higher on the desk here. And you could, if you wanted, you know, have more overlap on the top of your desk. It's really just your preference, right? This is for flexibility. This is to give you flexibility that otherwise we would never have in a desktop mouse, right? So I'm setting it up this way at like, I don't know, 50-degree angle, a little more than 45 degrees. And, you know, you can also just take it off your desk if you want to alternate between 45 degrees and flat, right? And then, of course, what I've been doing for a while is I've been using it upside down to give my wrist even more variety, to just for health, right? Because we spend so much time on the computer, people that work at the computer, you know, if you're watching this video, you work at the computer a lot, most likely. So here you go. It sticks on, it stays on, and you can operate at this angle. Okay. I think I'm okay. I kind of went on a tangent. I do that a lot, and that's just how my brain works. Sorry, not sorry. Um, we were talking about the wrist angle of the vertical versus tr the traditional position you have a mouse. Again, this thing can be dual use, can be traditional and vertical, um, because you can put it on this pad and now it's vertical. So I found that vertical mice don't really give you that range, right? Like I can't flip this way, right? And start using the mouse like this, right? Which, wow, you know, my wrist feels like, oh, thank you. It feels so good. Because now I'm in this like new position that my body's just like, I want to be in this position sometimes, right? Yeah. So this one locks you here, you know. but you can't have a different mouse for every angle that you want your wrist. Like imagine if I had to, I'd have to have like 10 mice. One like this, vertical, some vertical mice are like more vertical like this. Then I find that they when you click them, you got to kind of push sideways, right? And I put that in the listing description that you push your on Amazon, you push the mouse sideways and then your cursor moves, right? While you're clicking. And I never liked having to tense up my hand to keep the darn mouse still for those real vertical looking mice. Now, the ones that are a little more angled, maybe you can sort of push down, but then it kind of does something where you're like, the skin on your fingers kind of like pushing to the side. It's weird. So it's just odd, right? Vertical mice can be weird. I mean, it's a great way to get your wrist out of the same position, but you'd have to, it's fixed, you know, you only got one wrist position, and our bodies are like, you know, we're made to like, yeah, we're made to move around, and this is better for our wrist health for the long term, right? Don't think short term. So for the long term, obviously I'm pushing this, I'm biased, this is our product. Um, but it's just, I mean, you can see for yourself, it gives you that range. Yeah, it gives your body its natural range to be handshake position. Hi, how do you do? Nice to meet you. I wish I could shake all of your hands, by the way, but you know, videos can't can't whatever. That sounds strange. Okay, anyway, moving on. So yeah, unedited, that's my favorite way to make videos, because yeah, I don't want to cut videos. I'm not a YouTuber. I just want to load up this stuff and get you guys um, informed. So okay, where were we? Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. I'll probably get better at this over time, presenting this information, but let's see. If you got any questions, let me know. Uh, Obviously, you're going to fast forward through these videos. I fast forward through all these these long-winded videos that other creators make. Um, yeah. So, maybe I'll watch this and see if there's anything I missed. Um, there's so much to this project. I mean, it might just seem like, oh yeah, okay, you got this pad going, whatever this month. It took so much to like just get the darn mouse made with magnets in it and then have this thing perform and balance the magnetism level. So, you know, um I'm getting to the point where it's just like it's you know, when you start a new project, something like this, it takes up so much of your time just to do something so simple and then just to get it loaded up onto Amazon so that other people can buy it at a decent price. It takes it's so much effort. So I respect to these people who you know who I didn't realize, like these solo entrepreneurs who do stuff like this was a project of mine. You know, we'll see how if it can be successful or even have any sort of financial benefit, because the amount of time, energy and money that goes into making something like this is incredible, let me tell you. The money and time I spent on this might not even come back. We don't know. But we'll see. You know, if you guys like it, if you have, you know, some suggestions or some requests, again, we'll probably sell this thing separately so you don't have to try to make it yourself. And the mice, we already got these wired ones with magnets in it. You know, you can get your own mouse with magnets in it. Put your own magnets in it. You can change the feet, like I said. If you really need that real high friction locked in position at 90 degrees, um, you know, you can do that. Instantly, when it out of the box, this mouse comes with real slick feet, so the skates are gonna maybe slide depending on temperature, humidity too, right? That affects the grip. So depending where you live, right, it could change the kind of grip that this mouse has on the pad. But pretty sure, pretty certain that if you pull these feet off, you use different thinner feet with more friction, or just the easiest way is to just pull the feet right off. Stick it on there if you really need this thing to lock and not move at all at 90 degrees, then that's your solution. Love to hear your comments. Um, you know, yeah. So there you go. Not much else to say about this for now. If I think of something, I'll post another video. Peace out, y'all.